Hi class, welcome to Business 20, Introduction to Business. In today's lecture, we'll be going over business operations management. Our learning objectives are define operations management and discuss the role of the operation manager in a manufacturing company. Explain how to create and use both PERT and Gantt charts. Explain how manufacturing companies use technology to produce and deliver goods in an efficient and cost-effective manner. So this lecture will be broken into two sections. The first section is going to be for those businesses that are producing products, and the second section will be for those businesses that are producing or that are providing a service. So operations management consists of all the activities involved in transforming a product idea into a finished product. Operation management is the area of business focused on planning, organizing, overseeing the process involved in producing goods or delivering services. It involves managing resources like materials, labor, equipment, and technology to ensure efficient production, maintain quality, and meet customer demand. It consists of all the activities involved in transforming a product idea into a finished product. This means that company must convert resources such as materials, labor, money, and information into a good or service as efficiently as possible. Key components of operations management include supply chain management, quality control, inventory management, process optimization, and logistics. The goal is to maximize efficiency, minimize costs, and improve overall productivity, helping the organization to operate smoothly and deliver value to customers. In the operations management, they also look into the process, people, positions, profit, and plan, which we will look into more detail throughout this lecture. Planning the production process, production method decision. The first step in production planning is deciding which type of production process is best for manufacturing the goods that you intend to manufacture. The three basic types of processes or methods are make to order, mass production, and mass customization. Make to order is when products are customized to meet the needs of the buyers who ordered them. Example of businesses that still do make to order are printing or sign shops or sellers on Etsy that produce low volume, high variety goods. At times, the production and delivery cycle can be long. The second is mass production, which was adopted in the early 20th century and is also known as make-to-stock strategy, which is when companies produce high volumes of identical goods at a cost low enough to price them for a large number of customers. Goods are made in anticipation of future demands and kept in inventory for later sale. An example of this is any product you see stocked on store shelves. Third, mass customization, which combines the advantages of customized products with those of mass production. This approach requires a company to interact with their customers to find out exactly what the customer wants. An example of this is any company that allows customers to customize the product, such as Nike allowing their customers to customize their shoes through the Nike ID program. Operations planning and process facility decisions. When producing a good, it is important that companies keep in mind the location of their business. So site selection is very important. They need to keep in mind how much of production they're going to be having in-house, and they need to consider the following, such as favorable business climate, minimizing their shipping costs by being close to the suppliers and customers, or even both if needed. They need skilled workers, so they need to be in an area where they have the skilled workers. And also low cost of resources and expenses. Some expenses to consider are electricity, water, gas, any of those rent, capacity planning, which is the forecasting of capacity planning, which is forecasting the demand of your product. Once you have forecasted the demand of your product, businesses can determine capacity requirement of the production facility, the maximum number of goods that it can produce over a given time under normal working conditions. It is important to keep in mind if you're going to be keeping products on stock to also forecast for that and have an appropriate location for your products to be stocked. Managing the production process in a manufacturing company. Operations managers engage in daily activities of material management, which encompasses the activities of purchasing, inventory control, and work scheduling. Purchasing and supplier selection is the process of acquiring the materials and service to be used in production. E-procurement companies use the internet to interact with suppliers. Inventory control is overseeing the acquisition, storage, and distribution of goods and materials to ensure optimal levels are maintained to meet customers' demand while minimizing costs associated with holding excessive inventory. Just-in-time production, also known as JIT, is when the manufacturer arranges for materials to arrive at production facilities just in time to enter the manufacturing process. Material requirement planning, also known as MRP, relies on sales forecasts and ordering lead time for materials to calculate the quality of each component part needed for production and then determine when they should be ordered or made. Gantt chart. A Gantt chart is a visual representation of a project schedule that shows a task against time. I will be showing a visual representation of the Gantt chart in this next slide. The purpose of it is to illustrate the start and finish dates of a project activities, dependencies, and resource allocation. Importance: it helps in planning, scheduling, and tracking project progress efficiently. Some of the benefits are that one is visual clarity, provides a clear overview of project timelines and tasks. Task dependency helps identify dependency and critical path. Resource allocation facilitates effective allocation of resources. Communication enables effective communication among project team members and stakeholders. Lastly, track progress allows real-time tracking of a project progress against planned schedule. Some of the limitations are: one, its complexity may become complex and difficult to manage for large group projects. Lack of detail. There's limited space for detailed task descriptions. Static nature. Changes in project scope or schedule may require frequent updates. Time consuming. Creating and updating a Gantt chart manually can be time consuming. Dependency. Misinterpretation. Misinterpreting task dependencies can lead to accurate scheduling. Here's a visual representation of a Gantt chart for a hiking bear project. You can see here, there's 9 different activities needed to complete the hiking bear project. And it will take a total of 13 days to complete this project. Now, for every work completed, it will be in dark orange. For the work that to be completed, it will be in light orange. So let's look at how this works. So you will first need to based on our chart, you will first need to cut the fur, cut the material, and cut accessories. Cutting the fur and cutting material will take you 2 days, and cutting the accessories will take you 1 day. Once you're done with the cutting the fur and cutting materials, you're able to move on to the next activity, which is sew and stuff fur. That will take you approximately 5 to 6 days. You're also able to move on to the to sew clothes, which will take you 2 days. Once you're done with the sewing the clothes, you're able to start the embroidery of the t-shirt, which will also take you 2 days. And then on the second day of the hiking project, you're also able to start sewing accessories. You're not able to move on to the next activity until day 9 after you complete the sew and stuff of the fur. You're able to move on to dress the bears, which will take you 3 days. Once you're done dressing the bears, you're able to move on to package the bears, which will take you 1 day. And then you're able to move on to shipping the bears, which will take you 1 day as well. Now let's look into the PERT chart. PERT is the program evaluation and review technique. Charts which are geographic representation of project schedules that help visualize and analyze the task involved. The purpose of it is to identify critical path, estimate project duration, and manage dependencies efficiently. Importance PERT charts PERT charts aid in effective project planning, scheduling, and resource allocation. So what are the benefits? 1, visual representation. Provides a clear visual representation of project tasks and the relationships. 2, critical path identification. Helps identify critical path and prioritization tasks that impact project duration. Resource allocation. Facilitates efficient allocation of resource based on task dependencies. 4, risk management. Enables identification of potential delays and allows for proactive risk management. 5, coordination. Enhances coordination among project team members and stakeholders. The limitations are 1, complexity. PERT charts can become complex and difficult to manage for large projects. 2, overemphasis on time. Focuses primarily on time-related aspects and may overlook other project constraints. 3, dependency estimation. Accuracy of tasks dependency estimation may vary, leading to potential inaccuracies in project scheduling. 4, static nature. Changes in project scope or dependencies may require frequent updates to the PERT chart. 5, time-consuming. Creating and updating PERT charts manually can be time-consuming. Now let's look at a visual representation of the PERT chart. The PERT chart here shows how the activities involved in making a single bear are related. It indicates that the production process begins at the cutting station, so at the very first station. Next, the fur that's been cut for this particular bear moves first to the sewing and stuffing stations, and then to the dressing stations. At the same time that the fur is moving through the sequence of steps, the bear's clothes are being cut and sewn in its t-shirt is being embroidered. Its backpack and tent accessories are also being made at the same time. Note that fur, clothes, and accessories all meet at the dressing station. So as you can see here, they all meet at the dressing station, where the bear's dress and outfit is with its backpack. Finally, the finished bear is packaged and then shipped to the customer's house. So what is the critical path in this process? The path that took the longest amount of time was the sequence that included cutting, stuffing, dressing, packaging, and shipping, which is a sequence of steps taking over 65 minutes. So this means that if you wanted to produce a bear more quickly, you have to save time on this path. Technology of goods production. Technology in goods production is crucial because it significantly enhances efficiency, reduces cost, improves product quality, enables faster production times, and allows for greater customization, leading to increased competitiveness in the market and economic growth. Some examples of technology of goods are computer-aided designs, also known as CAD, which refers to the use of computer software and technology to create digital models and representations of products or components. Some examples of CAD are designing automotive parts, designing bridges and tunnels, designing aircraft and space vehicles, and obtaining a visualization of a construction site. Computer-aided manufacturing, also known as CAM, refers to the use of computer software and technology to automate and control manufacturing processes. Some examples of these are 3D printers, laser cutters, and milling machines. CAM machines can perform repetitive tasks quickly and accurately. Some products that were produced with CAM are automotive parts, aerospace components, and electronic devices. Computer integrated manufacturing, also known as CIM, refers to the comprehensive integration of computer-based technologies and systems throughout the entire manufacturing process. CIM systems expand the capabilities of CAD and CAM. And in addition to design and production applications, they handle such functions as order entry, inventory control, warehousing, and shipping. In the manufacturing plant, the CIM system controls the functions of industrial robots, computer control machines used to perform repetitive tasks that are also hard to or dangerous for human workers to perform. Operations management for service providers. Operation management for service providers involves strategically planning, organizing, and controlling processes and resources to deliver high-quality services efficiently and effectively. Though the primary function of both manufacturing and service providers is to satisfy customer needs, there are several important differences between the two types of operations. Let's focus on three of them. Intangibility, which are things that can be touched or handled, such as automobiles and appliances. Customization, which satisfies the specific needs to a customer, and customer contact, which is interacting with customers every day. Some questions to keep in mind when starting or expanding a business in the service sectors are the following questions. What service and perhaps good should they offer? Where will they locate their business? And what would their facilities look like? How will they forecast demand for their services? Now let's look into operations processes. Service organizations succeed by providing services that satisfy customer needs. This means that a company can provide services such as transportation through either the train or airlines. And through this business, they need to get their customers to the destination as quickly and safely as possible. Another service you could think of is a common service that nowadays we see is either FedEx or UPS, and they either need to pick up or drop off your packages, and this means that they need to sort um, and deliver your packages in a timely manner. Service providers that produce goods can adopt either make to order or make to stock approach to producing them. So some services or some businesses that provide service that are service providers but also produce goods are restaurants. They most of the time they make their order their food is make to order. Facility decisions. So it is very important for a service provider organization or business to think about where they're going to be located. They need to keep in mind the size and the layout of and design of the facility with the customer in mind. They must accommodate the needs of their customers while keeping costs as low as possible. This means that they want to be in a high traffic area where their customers are able to easily access them. So let's think about the fast food industry. They're most of the time they're in busy streets or busy sections of the city, and they're right off the freeways. So service providing businesses consider the following: need to be accessible to customers, high value of available customers, they need to have skilled workers, and low cost of resources and expenses. Capacity planning, forecasting the demand for service. Some questions to keep in mind are: how many customers will I have? When will they want my service? So which days of the week, which times a time of the day works best? How long will it take to serve each customer? How will external factors such as weather or holidays affect the demand of my services? Managing operations. Operations managers in the service sector must keep in mind the balance scorecard, which is the managing of service operations. Is about more than efficiency of service. It is about finding a balance between profitability, customer satisfaction, and associated satisfaction. So this means that they're keeping in mind managers. So this means that managers are keeping in mind scheduling of workers so that they're available to handle fluctuating customers' demand. They're also keep in mind the inventory control. Businesses that provide both goods and service, such as retail stores and auto repair shops. And producing for quality. So this means that when products make it to the market, they're the highest possible quality. Managing operations continue. Total quality management, also known as TQM, or quality assurance, includes all the steps that a company takes to ensure that its good or service are of sufficient high quality to meet customer needs. This means that their customer satisfaction, which allows a business to generate profit. These businesses allow their customers to define quality by identifying desirable product features and then offering them. They encourage customers to tell them how to offer services that work the right way. Employee involvement requires that everyone in the organization, not simply upper level management, commits to satisfying the customer. When customers wait too long at a drive-through window, it's the responsibility of a number of employees, not only the manager alone, to speed up the process. Continuous improvement is the commitment to making constant improvements in the design, production, and delivery of goods and services. Is statistical process control. This technique monitors production quality by testing a sample of output to see whether goods in the process are being made accordingly to predetermined specification. An example of this is the Six Sigma process in which 99.99966% of all opportunities to perform an operation are free of defects. This percentage equates to only 3.4 defects per million of opportunities. That's all for today's lecture. Thank you for listening.